Hello, and welcome back to How to Learn a Language. Today, this is the first episode in our week-long mini-series before my upcoming event, Grace and Space. We're going to be talking about who Grace and Space is for all week because there is a specific type of language learner I have in mind when I'm planning this event every year. I want to tell you about who that is because maybe it's you. So this is the biggest event ever. We've got multiple live sessions a day, taught trainings, Q&A, co-study, hot seat coaching, and more. You can find out more and get your tickets now at lindsaydoeslanguages.com/grace and space. The first type of person that Grace and Space is for is anyone who feels frustrated with their progress. Now, there's a few things I want you to know. If this is you, you're like, yes, this is me. I am not happy with where I'm at right now with my progress. I want it to be further along by now. Like it feels like it's too slow, like it's too much of a slog. Here's what you need to know. First up, language learning has phases. I call them speedy gains and steady growth. So you're probably familiar with this, right? When you started, you were probably in a phase of speedy gains. And maybe you've had a few since, right? Where, your progress to time ratio, it's almost vertical on a graph. You're learning a lot. You feel like you're making a lot of progress in a relatively short space of time in comparison to phases of steady growth. And steady growth is a little more closer to horizontal, not completely, right? Because, we're never fully horizontal. We're always making progress, even if it's hard to see on a graph and it looks and feels horizontal. But steady growth is what a lot of language learning is. If this is something that we're doing long term and we want it to be something that lasts, that feels sustainable, where our motivation is relatively consistent, even, despite that ebbing and flowing, that's a whole other thing. But if we want it to feel like that, there's going to be phases of steady growth. And a lot of the time, what I find is, and this is so true because I feel the same way, right? And I have to be really intentional about feeling differently. Speedy gains feel good, right? It feels really good. And I love being a beginner. I love that feeling of speedy gains. It's probably one of the reasons I like starting new languages is because I love that feeling of I'm learning so much. I'm acquiring so much new information. Jung, 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 jung. It's so fast. It feels good, right? I get it. And then the steady growth, it can be like, oh man, is this it? Have I peaked? Have I peaked already? Is this the end? Is it just like a hard slog from here on out? And it doesn't have to be. So I also, have multiple languages that I've got to a decent level, and it's more so a case. It's not like, they're not languages that I need to use all the time or regularly or every day, etc. So for those languages, it tends to be steady growth. Like I'm just picking things up here and there. And, I can even be more intentional with what I do with those as well. But just knowing these two phases will make you feel so much better about recognizing, okay, maybe my progress isn't as bad as I think it is. Maybe I'm just in a phase of steady growth. And when you are in that phase, part of the way to fix that frustration is to recognize that that's okay and to find ways to feel good about steady growth, but also to perhaps plan in your intentional phase of speedy gains. So maybe you go in for a week or a month where you're like, okay, this is my full-on Japanese month. I am going to have more lessons. I'm going to dedicate more time to this. I'm going to join the challenges on the apps and keep my streaks. All of the things, you're going for it. And that can be really helpful too. So that's the first thing to just recognize is that, progress is not one continuous straight upwards line. There are these phases, speedy gains and steady growth. Second thing to think about here is that more isn't always better. Self-review really beats out doing more. So when you are in a phase of steady growth and you're thinking, I just need speedy gains, I just need more faster, recognizing that it's not typically a case of just add it all in, double your workload, right? That's what's going to help. I'm not doing enough, right? It comes really from that feeling, that kind of instinct of I'm not doing enough. I need to do more. And so we add it and we add it and we add it. But what we don't add is self-review. And so when you have these pauses, these regular pauses, it's not you stop completely and it takes ages. No, it's just little pauses regularly where you're asking yourself what's working, what isn't working, what do I enjoy, what do I avoid, that little moment of reflection. That's what's going to be really effective to avoid you head into burnout, head into even more frustration. And, this is why in Language Life we have the monthly review, because it's a good amount of time, right? To just check in regularly once a month and be like, okay, where am I at? What feels good? What do I want to change? And to get that feedback from me as well, from someone else on the outside. It's not just you in your own head deciding all of these things. And, you can do this for yourself. Like I say, this is self-review. This really starts from you. It's not a case of just relying on someone else to tell you what to do. And with that, the easiest way to do it is with a language learning audit. So I'm sure this will come up at Grace and Space. You may have heard me talk about it before. You want your language learning to be 3 things, right? Fun, flexible, and functional. If it's one of them or 2 of them, we need to mix things up. We need to make some adjustments. If it's none of them, we're going to stop that thing we're doing completely and start something new. With these 3 things, we are asking ourselves in a language learning audit 3 very simple questions. And you can ask it about your whole process in general, or you can ask it about every piece of that puzzle, each activity that you do, each app you're using. So let's say you're doing Duolingo every day. You have an italki lesson once a week, and you aim to finish 1 chapter in the textbook every 2 weeks, right? You take those pieces and you say, okay, is it fun? Is it flexible? Is it functional? You're just asking those 3 questions. It's so simple, but about each piece. And then you're able to know for yourself, okay, I don't need to just do more. I need to first adjust what I'm already doing. And that's the basis of a language learning audit. We will be doing a live audit session at Grace and Space this year. I'm really excited about this one because this will be towards the very end of the schedule. And I think it's a really good endpoint because it just gives you that full on boost to take action. I know sometimes when you think about joining an event like this, it can feel like, oh man, there's so much new information. I'm really excited about it all, but I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed and I don't know where to start. So having an audit together at the end with input from me and from others as well, if you want it, that's going to be really, really good. And then finally, the final point I wanted to make on this, if you're feeling frustrated with your progress, you can get unstuck so much faster with guidance and community. It doesn't have to be you struggling on your own. Ask for help. It doesn't need to be a big ask. It can be as simple as getting your ticket to Grace and Space, showing up and lurking in the background. You don't have to contribute. You can just observe and get a bit of that energy, that knowing that you're not alone. That can be enough as a start point. But also another thing that we've added, so we've got the audit happening, but we've also added in this feature called hot seat coaching. And this is something that's going to happen every day because I kind of predict this might be a popular one. You will get live, personalized feedback and coaching from me. We're there together. We're doing this in person, digitally, and anything right now that's on your mind that you're really stuck on, this is a great chance to get unstuck so that you can move forward and to have it really tailored to you. I mentioned the live audit session. That's going to be really great, but we're going to be in the full group. It might be harder to kind of really give full answers to individual questions. If you feel like there's something right now on your mind that you want advice on before you move forward, hot seat coaching. So we're going to do this at Grace and Space. This year's event is taking place from the 25th to the 28th of September. Every day, you will get access to a new taught workshop, multiple live sessions, including co-study, Q&A, the hot seat coaching, that audit happening at the end of the event. And my goal every year with this event is for it to feel like a chance to pause, a chance to just check in and, just breathe a little bit. Just let yourself go, okay, I don't want to feel this frustration with my progress anymore. I want to feel ready. I want to have this fresh motivation and I want it to be something that lasts this time around. That's always my aim every year is Just a chance to pause, right? Plus, you will get the chance to join Language Life with a very special bonus package and tickets for Grace in Space. For all of this are just $50. You can get them right now at lindsaydoeslanguages.com/Grace in Space. And if you're listening to this in the future, you're thinking, that sounds amazing, but I'm listening in 2030 or even just October of 2025, then you can sign up to my email list for updates on future events and get yourself access to my free ultimate language resource list at lindsaydoeslanguages.com/list. All right, then. If this has sparked something for you, you're feeling excited, I'd love to hear about it. I'd love for you to get your ticket so we can chat this out in hot seat coaching. And you can email me if there's any follow-up questions at lindsay@doeslanguages.com, or share this episode with a friend who is working through something similar. All right, I'll be back again tomorrow with the next episode on who Grace in Space is for. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.